Hello, beautiful people. It's a little bit of a late start for me. I slept in as the princess should, as the queen should. Nick is actually on his way back to the hotel from his work thing that he had to do. I was supposed to get up and go do and film some things at a coffee shop, but it decided to start raining and your girl pretty much would have got wet. So the Lord knew what he was doing. He knew I was supposed to sleep in, do a little scroll, and then get myself together to do some filming. So my makeup look a little ghosty. I don't know about this light, y'all. Let me fix this. Let me warm myself up a little bit. Oh, maybe it's just the makeup. Maybe. I don't know. Do you like this light? I like the light. Anyways, so I'm just pretty much waiting for Nicholas to come back, and then we're gonna go do a couple of things. But what I did want to talk to y'all about, being in NOLA, pretty much we're here less than 48 hours for his work thing, but this is the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And if a lot of you didn't know by now, if you've been watching me and Nick for a while, I'm from New Orleans, and I actually am an OG Katrina baby. I was I think, how old was I at this point? I don't even remember, because clearly it was like 20 some years ago at this point. But I was pretty much in my preteens. I was actually getting ready to go to the 9th grade. So I think I was like 14-ish, 14 going on 15. I have a summer birthday, so it was one or the other as far as my age is concerned. But yeah, we definitely were a family that evacuated my childhood home. And I vaguely remember certain things, but I think I was old enough to still retain a lot of the memories. I just remember evacuating. I remember going to my mom's younger sister's apartment, which I believe she lived in Baton Rouge at the time. And it was a 1-bedroom apartment. And when I tell you probably all 25 of us was in that apartment, I do remember that. And that was that. I don't really remember what happened after. I don't know where we went. I do remember being in traffic, sitting in the car for hours and hours just to get to Baton Rouge. And if you know, you know, Baton Rouge is only an hour-ish away from New Orleans. So yeah, like, I think we were in the car for maybe 5 hours, which is like the equivalent of driving from New Orleans to Houston. Yeah, can you imagine? But I don't think I have any like emotional feelings or anything towards it. I think my only emotional feelings about Katrina is that was my year of starting high school. I was going to the 9th grade. I was enrolled in St. Mary's Academy, which is an all-girls Catholic school here. Which, granted, I had already been at St. Mary's Academy, but it was 9th grade. Like, you're going to high school. Like, what do you expect? I had just made the dance team. I think I remember I was the only 9th grader that made the dance team. I was excited because I was going to basically like debut, you know, in the parade season. Like that was a big deal. Like that's a big deal, y'all. And Katrina just came and washed that all away. But yeah, I think again, like being in my, you know, my end of my preteens going into like full-blown teenager, I was definitely having like the tantrums because eventually my dad, he works in the oil and gas industry. His job relocated my family, my mom, my brother, me, my dad, to Houston. And that's kind of the story of how I ended up in Houston and starting and finishing high school in Houston, in Houston, Texas, which, you know, at that time, I was throwing temper tantrums. I wanted to go back to New Orleans. And like, I know around like summertime, my parents sent me like to New Orleans for the summer. You know, I spent it with my aunt, you know, family, being out here, getting into trouble, doing the most. And, you know, I grew up with a good select group of friends. A lot of them are very known now in the city of New Orleans. Shout out to them. for their business, for their journey in politics. You know who you are, you know what I'm talking about. Like really, really great people. And it's so great to see, the group of teens, or if you want to call them Katrina babies, that I grew up with, that are still thriving in this beautiful city. So really, really amazing. But back to my story. Moved to Houston, and then, like I said, I finished high school there. Back to my story before I was rudely interrupted. Nicholas just called me. What I was saying, y'all. Yeah, I moved to Houston, started high school. That's also where I met one of my really, really best friends, Jordan, and made a lot of other friends. My other friend, Cree, met a lot of really great girls. There had a lot of different ups and downs in high school, because there were points where, yes, I was picked on, because I talk different, I look different. It was weird. It was very weird. And then, of course, they had a dance team, which I joined, and met a lot of other great girls on that team. And that was literally it. That's honestly, being on the dance team in high school, that was the only thing that honestly kept me sane in high school. There was so many just BS stuff that happened in high school that even till this day, it's so cringy to even think about or talk about. But, and I mean, nothing crazy or bad happened to me. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Just a high school BS stuff. But yeah, that was life. And then I ended up coming back to Louisiana for college. I went to the University of Louisiana in Lafayette. It was pretty fun. College was a great experience for me. I loved every minute of it. Of course, there were also the BS moments of college. The friends come and go. I don't feel that I'm very fortunate to say that I kept friends from college, because just things that I went through, roommate situations, it was a sad part of college for me. And then eventually moving into different housing and finally having some roommates that weren't, anyway, we're not even gonna go there. But yeah, it was great. So, and then of course, after college, I came back to Houston, where I did some internships, and then made my way back to Louisiana. I ended up living in Baton Rouge for a little while. At the time, I was seeing this guy there, and kind of the peak of my career, working for a big box retailer while I was there. And then ended up making my way into Luxottica, which is the company that I pretty much have worked the rest of my adult career in. And that was pretty much it. But all of this to say, reeling it back in, because I could just talk all day about an intro of my life, which I don't know if y'all that interested in it. If you're really that interested, add a comment down below. But life has been great. I'm in my, Lord, I'm about to say I'm in my mid-30s. What? But anyways, yes, I'm in my mid-30s, and it is approaching the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Nick and I are here in NOLA for less than 48 hours. So we're going to have a great time today. We're going to get some other work done, and might show y'all some things too along the way. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys continue to leave some comments, like and subscribe to our channel. We are continuously trying to grow and build our It's the Crooks brand. So if you right there watching, you sitting there being a supporter, keep supporting us, keep sharing us. Say hi if you see us around. I promise you, I don't bite. I might look a little focused sometimes, but I promise if you stop me, I'm always gonna say hi. Nick tells me all the time, yeah, I was at the gym and somebody stopped me, or man, I was in the grocery store and someone stopped me. I'm like, wow, that's so cool. So I've never experienced that. So if you see me, don't be afraid to say hi. If you see both of us, don't be afraid to say hi to us. But anyways, let's get this day started. I'm sure Nick has been dropping some gems and talking to y'all. So I'm waiting on him to get back to the hotel, and then we'll see y'all in a bit. All right.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm actually just realizing that it is about to be the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. So shout out to the whole city, because a lot of people, I remember being in high school when that happened. And we're going to visit Jasmine's childhood home, or where it happened. But 20 years ago, the whole city was flooded. And I wasn't here. I'm not from here. But I definitely remember seeing it on TV. And I think the second biggest city that was probably affected was Houston during that time. A lot changed, and just thinking about it as an adult now, it kind of gives me chills, because I'm like, dang, like that's rough for a lot of people, but there's blessing in disguise with everything. So it just kind of sinks in. You think, dang, 20 years ago, the whole place was just underwater, and everybody that made it out of that, you know, shout out to them. Yeah, so we are trying to beat the rain, and it's crazy. There's Hurricane Erin out there right now, about to hit the East Coast.
It's good thing it's not anywhere near us though. So
no, but still praying out for all them people. We experience hurricanes way more often than they do,
right? And
we know how to handle it. But we're headed to.
Oh, we're about to go take a quick peek at my childhood home. Nick's never seen it.
I have never seen it. That's one thing I'm already kind of excited about.
I'm gonna show him that. And then we're going to go meet up with some family.
Yeah, but just back on the topic of it being 20 years, and I kind of, as I was driving to, I guess, the east side today, I saw quite a few things that was talking about this being the anniversary. And I was saying how surreal it is to me being an adult now, because I was in high school when it happened. And you start hearing about, in Houston at least, which a lot of people probably don't know, in Houston, a lot of it to us, at least at the age that I was, I think I might have been like 10th grade maybe. It was like all you really thought about was Lil Wayne. And then you saw all the stuff on TV. And being here right now, looking at the city 20 years later, as an adult, I'm just kind of like, dang.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, but not even just that, like, you didn't really know nothing about New Orleans except, I mean, I don't think I knew anything at all, to be honest with you, like back then. But Lil Wayne. And maybe bounce music, maybe. So, you know, like, again, now being more familiar, and as you get older, and like I said, it changed a lot of people's lives, not only in New Orleans, but like in Houston too, because that was one of the other places that was affected, like, on a huge level. So being an adult, also experiencing multiple hurricanes myself, it really is crazy to think that people really went through something so extreme, and then to look at the city, it kind of gives me chills as I'm driving here now, just because I'm like, dang, like, to think that as you drive around, you look at the whole entire place, there's a lot that was just completely underwater, and you're like, dang, how does somebody who was like a parent or a kid or whoever that was of age to understand what was happening feel during that? And that really is a huge thing. And to say 20 years later, it almost feels like it was yesterday, because I can remember all of the people coming to Houston and seeing everything on TV. And I think I happened not too long after one of the other hurricanes. And it's just like really surreal to think a lot of this city was underwater. And where was the help? And people having to evacuate, people having to leave and never come back. And again, I do believe that there was a lot of blessing in disguise, but it's like, dang, like.
Yeah, overall, it definitely was a traumatic experience, and us, or someone like me being from New Orleans, like, my experience wasn't as traumatic as some people, especially the people that actually stayed here. Granted, I do have family that did stay here, my grandfather being one of them. Like, everyone has their own trauma and experience when it came to Hurricane Katrina.
But you were somebody who was displaced.
Yeah, I was.
It changed your life, or the course of your life.
Yeah, it did. It 100% changed the course of my life. So, yeah.
And for, for better or worse, and, again, can you kind of expound on what your experience was? Like, do you remember, like, how all of that happened? Like, when you even moving, like, what did that do to you? Like, we met, and one of the biggest things, because I'm Jamaican, one of the biggest things that we bonded on is her experience in Houston is very similar to my whole life, or like at least my whole life in America, with being around people that they were unfamiliar with how I used to speak, and or things like that.
Yeah.
And I might look like you, but that don't mean that I have the same culture, the same accent, the same whatever. So,
right.
What was that experience like for you? Because a lot of people can't relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like an outsider, like a foreigner, coming onto somebody else's territory that, oh, you don't belong kind of feeling. And it didn't bother me at first because it was a lot of attention, and not all of it was negative. But after a while, it did start to get old. Like, it was like, all right, like, I'm tired of you making fun of the way that I talk, or, oh, you actually like it, but it is the actual joke. So it was a lot, and I don't feel any type of way about it or anything like that. And granted, I was young. I was just getting, I told y'all earlier that I had just started high school, and I was in my coming of age, coming out of my, what do you call it? Not mid-teens. Like, I was going into full-blown teenager. And I was just starting to build those friendships and bonds with people that were from the same hometown as me. And it basically got ripped from me, and I had to start all over, which ultimately led to the teenage temper tantrums and all of that, which, again, I told y'all that my parents sent me back to New Orleans, like, for the summer, and I would spend, time here and doing things like that. But ultimately, their choice to keep myself and my younger brother in Houston was pretty much for a better life than what they could provide, to us in New Orleans. And not to say that, no one is not having a good life here at all. It's just, for them, it was a better option. And I don't think that I would technically be who I am today if Hurricane Katrina didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid, though. That's valid.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, for better or worse, it changed a lot.
Yeah. It did.
There are certain businesses that probably never came back.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, even to the
other
point,
people's opportunities happened because of it.
Right, and even to the point when I did move back to New Orleans in my young adult life, like, coming back here and there, like, the city is consistently changing. Businesses come and go here. This city is 100% reliant on tourism. Restaurants that open up here, sometimes they don't last a year, sometimes they don't even last their 2-year mark. And even to the point where there's certain places that have been around for decades have finally just closed their doors because they just can't sustain the city and the way that the city is changing. So
yeah, I mean, I can tell even like during the pandemic that shut down places for good. So it's like, a hurricane that literally swallows up your entire business and livelihood, again, for better or worse, regardless of what comes from that or how you respond to it. And not just even a hurricane. It's not even the hurricane. It's the flooding, the massive flooding.
Yeah.
Depending on how you respond to it, that changes your life. And again, that can be good or bad. Some people it is good. Some people it's not so good. So it really just kind of depends. Like, even somebody maybe losing their business open up an opportunity for somebody else.
Right.
So it really just kind of depends on how you look at it. But, at the end of the day, still a very extreme situation. And, shout out to everybody that went through it. And this will be a pretty cool experience, I think, for both of us. Me being able to see where Jasmine grew up, and then her being able to see how where she grew up looks now. Mm-hmm. Have you been back recently?
No, I haven't. It's been years since I've been.
Yeah. This will be a pretty cool experience to see,
Yeah. I'm actually really curious what the house looks like because I honestly wouldn't know. But in the meantime, people, we're going to maneuver through this traffic and then we'll show y'all my old...
Yeah, if you experienced Katrina or lived in Houston and experienced, like, even just what it was like when everybody came, because I know what it was like for me. Like, my perspective and her perspective is going to be different, but it's still both extreme situations. So if you experience it, leave it in the comments and tell us what you think or how you felt. Yeah. All right. We're going to navigate through this traffic. This is it?
Yes, this is the street.
Okay.
It's not different already.
pickup. All right, we're here. All right, what side is it on? Left side, right side?
It's gonna be on the right side.
Okay.
This is the street. Oh wow, there's a whole house missing.
A house missing? This was the house?
Yeah, that used to be a house right there.
Okay.
Interesting. Where is
You arrived at your destination.
Wait, is the house missing?
Where is it? 46.
This is it.
No. Oh, there is no more house. Wow, it's gone.
Dang.
I wonder why.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's the driveway.
It might be on the. Is it not that in the back?
This is the house.
That's not it in the back.
No, because that was the next door neighbor's house.
But there's a number and it has a new fence.
Because that still has the address. It's still a lot. And that was a piece of the entryway to
The grass look good.
the house. They tore the house down. I wonder why.
Wait, the house. So the house used to come out past this fence?
No, that was this. You see the concrete right there? That was a pathway to the house. And that's the driveway.
Hold on.
Wow.
Let me see. So this right here was the pathway to the house, and you're saying now, and the house was right here.
This was the house. The house was right here.
Wow.
Wow.
We're gonna pause because somebody's coming, but we'll come back.
Go to us. The Nigerian man forgot him. His house.
Yeah, this house is still there. It looks different on the front.
All right, so we found out that the house was actually torn down.
This is a shocker.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the house was gone. Wow. I had no idea. I knew my parents got rid of the house and they were kind of done with it. It was causing like way too much commotion. I mean, living in Texas and trying to maintain another house and rent it out, and the way this area is now, they're not getting the best tenants and just not taking care of it. It just was costing more than they were willing to shell out. But
Yeah, the city basically just said they're gonna tear it down.
and I guess the city just tore it down. I don't know what the repairs were that were needed on the house,
on the land, but
but
well, from what your dad said, it was 2 times the amount to take care of it than what it was worth, and that is something that I've learned is, property out here is like skyrocketed. So I don't know, how do you feel about it? Are you sad? Are you happy? Indifferent?
I'm more. I don't really. I guess I don't feel anything. It's just shocking to expect the house that you grew up in, most of your childhood is gone. I didn't know. I didn't know they tore it down.
Yeah.
So I just kind of expected it to be here, or possibly just kind of be vacant or whatever, or overtaken by whatever was going to be around it, but not expecting that it was just nothing.
Being on the street, do you have any memories or anything kind of come back to you? Or I guess, were you here during Katrina?
No, we left.
No, I mean like when. Oh, so you left before it happened?
Yes. We evacuated before anything.
So
happened.
you didn't have to be in the flood. Okay.
No.
Well, that's
no. That's what I was saying. Like, everyone's experience is different.
But it must have really probably. I can understand.
I do remember when they allowed people back in the city when we did come back here, and we went in the house. It was trees and stuff blown all over, but it pretty much looked like nothing necessarily happened until you went inside the house. And it was just because this street did have water. To the naked eye, you actually can't tell, but you can kind of tell from here that it slopes down. But this entire street goes like this.
Yeah.
So this side, like our house, it only got a little bit of water, but enough to cause mold damage. The house, my grandmother's house down the street, on the inside, the water was to the roof. So that's what I mean. Like, you can't tell, but it's a drastic slope going. Like, you're literally going downhill.
Yeah, and I can vouch that from experiencing hurricanes too. A lot of times when you leave and you evacuate from a hurricane because you're nervous about what could be happening, looking on TV and wondering what's going on and stuff like that, that also is a whole nother level of fear, because you don't know what you're going back to. You don't know what you left. You don't know what actually happened, versus you being, even though it's scary being in the flood or the hurricane itself, it's still kind of like you don't know what is going on at your house. I even remember moving from Houston before Harvey and my family being in the flood, and I'm normally in the hurricane too. And I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on with my family. I'm not there to help. I'm not there to be able to do anything. And there's a whole nother level of worry when you're not actually in the hurricane too. So I can only imagine just watching on TV and being like, what in the world is going on at home, and what am I going back to? Is there even a home to go back to? Especially, like you said, you started building relationships, friends, family, stuff like that. You're like, you don't know if you're ever going to see anybody ever again.
Right.
So.
Well, that's, like I said, I'm more shocked than anything. The house is gone. There's nothing there. It's so crazy. The sidewalk, the driveway, and then the little piece to where there was an entrance or like a sidewalk to go into the front door of the house. But, wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Well, what was your experience with the hurricane? 20 years.
Yeah, it's really been 20 years. That's crazy.
Shout out to anybody that experienced it. However you experienced it. If you had a friend, a family member, if you experienced it personally, leave your experience in the comments. And yeah, I mean, you got any closing words for anybody that, anything? Because the video about to end, but you have anything that you want to say? Just to kind of
I'm kind of still in shock right now. I'm processing.
Yeah.
that's my closing words.
And then you want to shout out to
now.
New Orleans. I just want to say, like, big yourself up. That's what I want to say. Just big up New Orleans, because that's a part of history.
New Orleans is a very, very fun place. It's a very family-oriented place. There's a lot of rich culture here that unfortunately is being lost. So I encourage anybody that hasn't been here to actually come and experience the city of New Orleans and eat the good food and, really get to know the people that are here. Well, guys, this is the 20-year anniversary of Katrina, and to all of my fellow New Orleanians that, went through this disaster and have bettered themselves and took advantage in a good way of, the situation that happened. And I know it wasn't the best situation for everybody else, but shout out to everybody that can look back on Hurricane Katrina and say, dang, where would I be if that storm didn't actually happen? So keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to all of my NOLA natives that are doing their big ones. Some of y'all are still actually in this city doing amazing things, opening businesses, being a part of the politics.
Shout out to Mondays.
So like it's really refreshing to see that, especially the people that I grew up with, still being in this city and trying to build the city back up. So yeah.
Big up yourself.
There we go.
All right. See y'all in the next one. Peace. Who that?